The black man was the first. We don't record of this black man. We have a record of the birth of others except the black man. There is no birth record of the black man. He is the original or aboriginal man of the earth. And we don't have any, we say, the dated of this man beginning of his civilization and whereabout. Because we once was with the moon, or the moon and the earth was together once upon a time, and cannot be a specific spot pointed out where that it actually took place of his building of civilization. But we do know, according to the teachings of Almighty God, Allah to me, that once upon a time that we had nothing in the universe but the sun. And that after that, then they made a star. And from stars to stars and stars and stars. And they saw that the star was essential to our well-being. And from that, we began to make planets. And there is between the creation of the sun and the earth 6 trillion years between the two. And it is often referred to that the universe was made or created in the 3 stages, or we say 3 divisions of it. 2 trillion years to each. And the present moon that we have, which is now 66 trillion years old itself, or rather being in the position that it's in. It originally was about 56,000 miles from this part, or rather, when she was taken from this part. It was drawn out of the orbit of that, at that time, 36,000 miles, and that part that we are looking at today, it dropped from the original orbit 12,000 miles, lost all its water on this part. That's why she's without water. It's due to the explosion. At that time, 66 trillion years ago, she lost her water by turning over. She turned all over, and the water dropped on this part. And that give us then 3/4 of our surface covered in water, because we have the water from that part. The original man did that. He was the man, rather we say a god, a scientist, that brought about that explosion due to his dissatisfaction of not being able to have all the people he liked, and having them speaking the same dialect. So he got angry because he could make them speak the same dialect all the way around, as our planet at that time was something better than 10,000 miles in diameter, while it's around 8,000 now, near. And he getting vexed with his own wisdom, unable to do with the people what he wanted to do with them. He goes then and tries to destroy us. His aim was not to make a moon, a satellite for a planet. We had at that time, according to the teachings of God to me, Mars for our moon. It served as our moon at that time. What I mean, before ever this scientist tried to destroy us. And since he was unable to destroy us, uh, we was lucky to come with this part. The people on the other part was destroyed, but we was lucky to come with this part. And we were called at that time the Aboriginal people, and we are the Aboriginal people today. And in the 6 trillion years before that time, in the creation of light and water, it was the black man.
And the black man has no beginning and no end.
No beginning, no ending. You can't find no history that will give you the birth of the black man. He has always been.
Well, then, since we have no beginning or no end for the black man, no birth, how do you explain, and what is your doctrine on the origin of the Caucasian race?
Well, the Caucasian race came about, they are called white people, and they were white people. It was made that Caucasian is a name given to the quality of the man, means original, weak bone and stale face. The person have a stale color, and his bones are weak and the color Caucasian. But actually, he was made white. This was brought about, we would consider just recently, to talking into billions and trillions of years. The Caucasian race, their birth is just here of today almost. That took place 6,000 years ago. A black man, he is the father of the Caucasian race. His name was Yaqub. They call him Jacob in English, but Arabic is Yaqub. He discovered in the germ of the black man that there were two people, and that in studying the germ, he learned to divide the germ. And he said, if I can take the germ now, this brown one, and separate it from the dark one, I can make this brown germ here rule the black germ until the black germ produce one that is greater than I. And he, being a very wise scientist, he knew what was coming in the future. So he says, my man will live for 6,000 years, and he will rule his father. And after that, he says, then his brother will come from the east, and he will eat my man up after 6,000 years. So this man discovered this, as I first said, according to the teachings of Almighty God to me, by the germ. And it still can be proven today that the black man have two people in him.
How, sir?
Yes, sir. You have to.
How is this? How can this be proved?
And by the germ. The germ you have here. Take for an instant. Well, let me come to the surface first. You go to the darkest people that you can find in Africa, where that they has never been touched by Caucasian people. and you will find that one will be a little shader browner than the other. And this man set up a birth control law to take that browner one and marry the browner one on to the browner one and kill off the black. And he kept this going for 600 years. First, he had a little brown race of people after 200 years. And the next 200 years, he had a little yellow race of people, or red race, you say. And the next 200 years, he had a pale white.
Method of birth control.
Yes, he killed the black baby and saved the brown one. Or killed the brown one, saved the brown one. Killed the brown one and saved the yellow one. You see, the yellow one saved, and until he run it into its last stage. And the last stage is white. And that can be done today. It is not nothing that is a mystery, impossible. It can be done today. But I don't think that they want any more drafting. I think they've about got enough of that. Yes, and the black is the original. He's the father of them all.
All these other races are derivatives of the black race.
That's right. That's right.
There was something that was mentioned in Volume 2 of the Supreme Wisdom about some of the physical attributes of the Negro, of the black man. Kinky hair, for example. And there was some cite made as to a scientist who had withdrawn himself from his people. Would you explain
Yes,
that?
that happened 50,000 years ago, according to the teachings of Allah to me, which I was with him for 3 years, night and day. I didn't do anything, and he didn't allow me to do anything. He taught me for 3 years, night and day, 7 days a week. I mean, I was confined. I was jailed almost. I had no chance to do anything but just to listen to him.
And learn.
And so that's right. And he would carry me out of the city sometimes in his little Chevrolet coupe. And we would sit out there sometime 2 or 3 hours at night. And he would talk to me about the stars and planets and how long this was making and whatnot. And so this scientist, 50,000 years ago, as they are today, they always meets together and discuss, major things that is going to take place. And each one, passes his own judgment, or we say vote on whether or not it should be done. So this man, he wanted to, his name was Shabazz. He wanted to make a people different from what we had at that time, and he wanted people that could live in the jungles of East Asia and be able to withstand the hot sun and the wild beasts, anything. He wanted to make a tough man. That don't mean now we was not black now. We was black right on. But we was more delicate, and tender than the man that he produced. So he says to the 11 scientists, if you agree with me, he says, we can produce the people to conquer the jungles of East Asia, as they call it Africa today. And he said we could conquer this part of our planet with this type of people. So he gave them the description and the method how to go about it. And he went uh, and waited on answers, and they never would agree with him. And finally, he said he will not agree with the other 11. He would take his family himself and go and live there and prove to them that he could produce a people that would conquer the jungles of East Asia. And that's where it come in.
Was this the origin then of the tribe of Shabazz?
Yes, sir. That's the origin of it.
Something you speak very frequently of is self-knowledge. Now, what does this mean to you?
Self-knowledge is what I am saying now. This is self-knowledge. We have never had the knowledge of ourselves since that we were brought here for slave purposes. We didn't know anything about ourselves. Our grandparents and parents, many of them today who have not heard the ancient history of their people, don't know who they are. And we say, we teach him the knowledge of himself, meaning that he don't know himself. Our people don't know themselves, the average one, because he cannot give any history of himself uh, only from the time that he was put here in the cotton fields of the South. And that history he gotten from his slave master. He know nothing beyond. And this is to give him a knowledge of his fathers and the origin of everything except himself. He cannot get the origin of himself. That would be given to him his birthright. And therefore, you can't give him the origin of himself because you can't give him the birth. Got no birth. He's, we could say that, as God said to me, when I asked him, was not there a beginning? We often, wrangling over the beginning. How did the atom of life begin in the universe? That is such wisdom that we don't like to talk on because you bound to different from me and I'm going to different from you because there is no date for it, and to say how it come in action, taking on activity, we don't like to go in because it's just too much. And I wouldn't like for you to ask me further on that, mind, because I don't like to talk on it. It give you too much talk. You got to go so far. It's too much to talk on.
But you are in your teachings trying to get the so-called American Negro to know his beginning, something of himself.
Yes, the black man of America. He's not a Negro. This is the slave master's name given to our fathers under slavery. There's no such thing as a race or nation of Negroes. You don't find that nowhere. This is our people slang name given by the white slave master. Well, he had in it. Let's take a look into why did he call us Negro after he made us slave. Well, we was pretty dumb when he brought us here. It's not that we can say that we were smart, we were wise. No, that we would not have come here. He could not have brought us here. We was not too smart. And so, after depriving us of the knowledge of ourselves, knowledge of our name, the knowledge of our language, of our people, knowledge of our people's history. He called us Negro. Negro means something that is dead, lifeless, neutral. It's a neutral thing. It's something that you have to move or you put it down. Well, it will stay right there until that you move it again. It is not something that it have any power of itself. It's it's moved by the power of another one. So he gave us this name, and it means something that is dead and lifeless, and that goes for mental power. After being deprived of the knowledge of yourself, then you're considered mentally dead. You know. And so the book translated, the Bible translated 400 and some years ago, about 50 some years ago now, I think it is. They put in there the resurrection of the dead. When the resurrection of the dead come, that would be the judgment. The resurrection only means the mentally dead people. We are the people to be resurrected. And when the resurrection of the so-called Negro or the black man of Americas, when he is resurrected into the knowledge of self and in the knowledge of God and the devil, then that's the end of the world. And this is it now going on. This is the end of the white man's world. According to the history, scientists, and science, you can take it for granted. It is the end, and this must be done in order to not to give injustice to a person that have no knowledge of what it is all about. So before the God can destroy the world, he must give us a knowledge of why he is destroying it. And why are you killing me? He don't do things unjust. And so he always, according to the Holy Quran, he makes a people aware of why that he destroy them or chastise them.
Now, you mentioned that the American Negro is being resurrected to knowledge of himself, self-knowledge. Mr. Muhammad, how did you receive this self-knowledge?
I receive this knowledge that I'm teaching and that I'm putting my life against, that if you can prove it other than the truth, from God in the person of one Mr. Farad Muhammad. He used the name Farad Muhammad. When he first made himself known to me and others, he used just the Farad, Wallace Farad. And he had an initial in between there that I never knew what that initial stood for. And that was a W, D. Wallace D. Farad is what he give to us. Then in the third year, on his departure, he told me that his name was Wallace Farad Muhammad, W.F. Muhammad. Wait,
This was the first time that he revealed his name to
you? First time he put the Muhammad to it, yes. So I studied that then. From what he gave to me to study, he gave to me a Holy Quran in Arab, and I couldn't read it. So then he goes and get me a Holy Quran in Arabic and English. And so I taken this book and I studied it from what he lined me up with. He gave me a copy of Texas and places and other books. He gave to me the names of 104 books that is in the Congressional Library in Washington. And I studied them for 7 years. There up and down the East Coast. And I have the one that he gave to me, given about 2/3 of it to study. The other third, he said, didn't amount to anything because that would be probably in some other man's time and not our time, and we shouldn't be worried about what the other fellow have to do. Let him worry over that. Well, when I first met him, it came to me that he was the man that the Bible prophesied would come in the last days as the Son of Man. And I recognized him to be that, as I had studied Bible ever since I was a little child. When I first learned to read, I learned to read Bible. And I always thought that I would be a preacher, but not a preacher of Islam. I didn't know nothing about Islam. I thought I would be a preacher of the religion of my father. That was Christianity. He was a Baptist preacher, and I thought maybe I would be one. But I always told them if I ever preach, I would make enemies. I said because my father and the other preachers would not like me if I preach. I said because I see so many things that they are saying and preaching is wrong. And so I went along like that until I was 35 years old before I actually was sent to preach. Then when I met this man, then I told him, I say, you are the one that the Bible teaches that will come, the Son of Man or the Messiah. And so he whispered in my ear. He got close to me. He looked all around, see who heard that. And he whispered in my ear and told me, he said, yeah. He said, but keep quiet. He said, don't say anything to anyone about that. He said, I will let you know when to say that.